I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the top dog, Hanford Dixon. We're here on site at the Kaulig Companies Championship. Okay, we got a lot of golf ahead of us, and we've got a really special interview coming your way. But Hanford, looking the part here. You even got your Firestone Country Club polo on.
Well, I was wondering how long it was going to take you before you realized that, and before you, you took a look at my shirt and then you said something about it. Of course, I have my Firestone shirt on, and another thing you didn't notice and you didn't say anything about, it's got the Cleveland Browns colors. Well,
yeah.
somewhat.
Oh,
somewhat.
It really compliments. I mean, with you, your skin tone, and your shirt.
There you go again.
Nailed it.
There you go again. I knew it was just a matter of time before you say that.
We're silly. We're weird.
But I have to say this, Gab. I am just, I'm in heaven right now.
I know.
I mean, because I'm a golfer, and obviously, this is like heaven to me, because I walk up and I see these guys, and I'm just so happy that we're going to have Richard Green on the course, and I think right now he's somewhere close to the top of the leaderboard right now.
Yeah.
But just to
lefty out of Australia.
Just to see all these guys and see them play, I can't wait to see guys like Steve Stricker, who's won this thing twice out of the last 4 years. Guys like Vijay Singh. Someone even told me, is that him? That might be him. John Daly is here.
Oh, that's a lookalike. That's a doppelganger, but he is here. He did a whole performance last night. It was awesome.
I mean, John Daly is here. And Gab, I can't tell you how far he used to hit it. Probably still hit it pretty far. But this is just heaven to me, and I'm just so happy to be here. And I wish we can get a lot of these guys on the show, but we probably might not. We know we have one already committed to coming to see us, but who knows? So what have you been doing? Tell me about you. What?
All right, we'll talk about me briefly, and then I'll talk about your golf game, because I'm a little, we saw his almost hole-in-one however many weeks back, and we got to get an update on how things are going for you on the course, if you'll be playing anytime this week. But, things have been good. Hanford, I might have to get my tonsils out. There's that. But other than that, you want to hear something funny? I got a bunch of spin classes on sale, and you know me, I procrastinated, so they were all going to expire. And I had like a week to get in 15 classes. So I'll be honest, I didn't get all 15, but bro, I did like 3 back-to-back spin classes, and then I came back the next day. I was like trying to get my money's worth, so I was exhausted.
I was gonna say, you had to be exhausted. I don't see. That's crazy.
Yeah, so you're not winning any bike races against me, if you ever want to know.
That is crazy. I don't know how you could do that, but just you getting it in is just
my
unbelievable.
friends were roasting me, though, because it was such a classic thing that I would do, is wait till the last minute, and then I'm like, no, I got to get my money's worth. So I was like killing myself doing all this biking stuff, and then.
Well, let me say this, just to talk about this course a little bit.
Yes.
Firestone, this is a course that I played many, many times. Obviously, I didn't play it nowhere near. I'm not near the golfer that these guys are. These guys are professionals. That's what they do every single day. But this course is a really, really tough course, or tough track, as we call it. And it's going to be interesting to see if someone else wins this thing besides the guys who's won it for the last 4 years. But it's tough, Gab. It's tough.
Yeah.
And then, the weather is finally good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because the weather has been kind of crazy everywhere. I mean, every single where. Hurricanes, rain, you name it. The weather's been pretty bad. So I'm just so happy to be here. And we have to give some props to. We have to give some props to Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Nick is the guy. And Nick's going to join us at some point during the show. He's going to, and we'll talk about him, praise him, and make him happy and all that. But, we have to give him some props for getting us out here, because you and I really wanted to be here today.
And how spiffy is our little
setup?
Well,
I think, it's pretty nice. But look at you. You just dazzy-doozy there.
I feel like golf is a little, how do I put it? Bougie?
It is bougie. It
is. So I erred on the side of maybe I should dress up a little.
Golf is bougie. But I love also, obviously we love the sponsor, and then you see all the race cars everywhere out here.
The Kaulig racing cars, yep. They're pretty slick.
And I want to say this. If you ever get a chance, maybe not this year, but if you ever get a chance to come to Firestone Country Club, and especially when this event is going on, you have to come to this venue and check out and see what's going on, because it's so well run. I mean, with the people, with Kaulig Racing and everybody as one of the big sponsors. I'm telling you, it's a top-notch
Okay,
event.
so will you be doing any golfing this week?
I will, not here.
Okay.
But I'll be doing some golfing. I
Okay.
definitely, I'll be playing some golf somewhere.
I hope you've been working on your hip activation and your glutes because we all saw where that almost hole-in-one went, and you needed just a little bit more for us.
Just a little bit more on there, and I'd have had that hole-in-one.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our featured interview right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We're joined by one more person today. We've got Richard Green here with us, and he is tied for second currently here at the Kaulig Companies Championship. We're going to pick your brain a little bit. He's got a fantastic Australian accent. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the applause.
Hey, Gab, I have to give him a hard time because he's tied for second right now. I think he's 3 under, and that score could have been better. Richard, I was watching now. I think you missed a little putt out there on the last hole.
Yeah, it was about a 6-footer across the slope, a little bit left to right, and I just hung it out there a bit high. So, it would have been nice to get up to the tied for the lead, but at the end of the day, you can't win it today. You've got to win it on Sunday, so it's a good start.
Yeah, I was going to say you can lose it today, but you can't win it today.
Correct.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, and I just wanted to know this. You and your caddy, are you, like you say you missed that 6-footer, are you reading those putts by yourself, or do you have him chime in on that?
Yeah, I get a little bit of input from him. A lot of the time, putting out here is all about feel, and I'm the one that knows how hard to hit it to get it to go on the right break to get it to go in. He might be able to judge exactly what it's doing, and he might say, it's got a fair bit of left to right in this, so you just consciously go, okay, well, I'll factor that in and then do your best. And I looked at that line, and I thought it was going to break more than it did, and it just hung up there. So
yeah,
anyway.
How are you feeling about the elements out there and just the course in general? A little bit of the, we got a better day today than yesterday, thank goodness for you guys.
Yeah, yesterday's Pro-Am was tough, but
yeah.
I find Firestone a really challenging golf course. It requires a lot of accuracy off the tee, a lot of really good, the best of your iron shots into the greens, and it's not a sort of golf course that you can make a lot of birdies on. The birdies are slow to come in your round, and so I think you've got to take on the attitude a little bit this week to slowly build your score over 4 days, as opposed to trying to go out there and monster the course. You just can't do it on this course. It's too difficult. So I feel it's very rewarding to have played well today.
I have to tell you this. This year I was playing golf with my buddy Ozzie Newsome, who played for the Browns. He's with Baltimore right now. Yeah. And we were playing at a Robert Trent Jones course in Montgomery, Alabama. And Big Dog, I came this close to my first hole-in-one.
Oh,
Listen to me. Listen to this. This is how it went. Okay, we're sitting there. We're playing. And I think it was a par 3, and it was 158 yards. And I hit it. And Ozzie said, I think it went in. He said, and all the time he's hoping it didn't go in. He said, I think it went in. I think it went in. One more roll.
Oh,
and I
really?
would have had my first hole-in-one.
Jeez,
it was painfully close. Like, if you have any kind of OCD, seeing the picture of Hanford, the ball, and where the hole was, you're just like, I was mad at him. I'm like, you couldn't have put just a little more oomph into that?
Richard,
it's a crazy game, isn't it?
Go ahead.
It's a crazy game. I can sympathise with you, but I've had some great fortune with golf shots in my time. You might have seen it on YouTube. I had a hole-in-one on a par 4 once, and it went left of the green into the bunker, rimmed up around the bunker, and popped up onto the green, then darted.
It still counts.
Darted and went in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I couldn't believe it that could happen. But
just like you drew it up,
Yeah, exactly. Planned it.
Now, because golf is such a mental game, and you are in a good position right now, but, when you find yourself in a rut, what are some of the self-talk thoughts that come to mind to keep you composed?
Yeah, you've got to have an abundance of patience in this game, and try not to let the knocks in the game sort of knock your confidence around too much. And I've always believed that I've been a good ball striker and somebody that can putt well and hit the ball well, and it's just a matter of staying on top of the things that keep your confidence going. But obviously when when things aren't going your way, you've just got to try and remain positive and keep talking to yourself in a positive way. Your brain doesn't really know. The mind doesn't know. It's what you say to yourself is what's important. So, I like to think that I'm positive. I've had some tough times in my career where you wonder if it's ever going to come back. But it's nice to be on a little bit of a crest of a wave at the moment with form.
Richard, I got to say this, and I know you know this, but I played 9 years with the Cleveland Browns, defensive back, and all-pro wide receiver, and I could conquer that covering those, fast wide receivers. But this game of golf, yeah. I mean, it's just, it's something else because my hat's off to you guys. I don't have any hair anymore. Don't you laugh. But I just don't. I see how you do it, but I'm telling you, people just don't understand the grind and how tough it is because your swing could just leave you a little bit at some point at the course. And like you said, he's got to fight. He's got to go get it in its inner self to bring it back. Yeah. That's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got a little white ball, it's stationary, and you've got to try and hit it from there to there. And it's a little metal face on the golf club that you've got to strike the ball with the right angle to get it to do what it's got to do. It's a hard game. It's a really hard game, and a lot of people probably, I think everybody knows it's a hard game. I think that's why it's golf. It's, we expect to do it a lot better sometimes, but it's usually when you're probably not in the right space. You've got to understand it's difficult and appreciate it when you do it well.
It is a mental game, but it is also physical. What are some of the things you do to stay in your peak shape, especially as you continue to grow?
Yeah, absolutely. Staying as fit as possible. I worked really hard in the gym for probably 10 years prior to starting on the Champions Tour to be fit in my 50s to compete out here. And it's a long old grind to get it right, when you're getting older, it's not coming to you like when you're
Richard,
in your 20s.
Why you look at me when you said that? Come on.
I'm just saying you know what I mean.
Right. He's giving me that look over there. Trust me, I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Hanford loves the elliptical. He's on the elliptical every day.
Exactly. Got to do something for your health, I kind of, I don't really like the golf carts out there, but I think walking's good for your health. A bit of general exercise, not too intense when you're over 50.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real and staying in good shape.
Going back to back, through Sunday and everything. Do you do anything special for recovery? Any of the cold therapy's a big one right now.
No, maybe a glass of wine at night to
there you go.
to sort of calm the mind down a little bit. But just take it easy. Make sure I eat well and
Well, he's not like a Tiger Woods, obviously, who's had all those injuries, and there's certain things that he's got to do to keep his body going. Speaking of Tiger Woods, I think he's got 1 year. Is it 1 year before he can make a decision or join the Seniors Tour?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was kind of hoping he'd pop up out here next year, but I think it's another year. I think he's got to get under his belt before he comes out. But it'll be really good to see him out here playing again. I think he'd really enjoy it. I think he playing a lot out here would satisfy his need for competition for sure.
And Gabby, you didn't know this, but maybe you did. But they can, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you guys can have a card if you want one.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
So that's a good thing. Well, before we let you go, Gabby, I got to get a promise out of him.
Wait, don't forget about his Porsche thing too.
Well, yeah, you can get that, but I have something else.
Okay, you go.
The last 4 years, if I'm correct, there's been two guys that have won this thing, and one of them obviously is Steve Stricker. And just make me a promise that you obviously you play good today, but I want you to put it together for 4 straight days, big dog.
Exactly.
4 straight days. Put it together.
That's the challenge.
And coming down to the end, I want you to be at the top of that leaderboard so I could just cheer for you because, I want my guy to win it.
Thanks, mate. That's it's a nice bit of encouragement, and I'll do my best.
We've got an emotional investment in you now, personal investment. Before we let you go, we do want to show a little bit about your personality. We've talked a lot of shop and business, but you've got a really interesting hobby with racing Porsches.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, ever since I've been able to drive a vehicle, probably since I was about 14 to some degree, and maybe not fully licensed, but, I've loved cars. I've loved anything with wheels on it, and it drives along, and, my interest has grown into motor racing over time, and I love the sound and the speed of racing cars. They're quite awesome, and to actually be lucky enough to have been able to drive them, in the last 15 to 20 years of my career, I've had a lot of fun with it, and I still do it today, and still get a real buzz out of it. I don't do it as much as I want to because I'm out here playing golf, but when I do, I love it.
What a dramatic change in speed from the golf course to that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to get his need for speed somehow. You must love the Kaulig racing cars that are around today.
Absolutely. I'm in heaven this week. There's race cars dotted around the place here everywhere from Kaulig, and I went to Talladega last year to the NASCAR and watched AJ Allmendinger race and the Kaulig team, and it's nice to sort of see the cars up close.
Gabby, you didn't know this, and after this I'm done, but and I'm not going to tell you who used to drive this car. I may give you a little hint, but I'm a big fan of NASCAR too, and I used to love the guy who was driving that DuPont Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Big Dog?
Probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few guys out there with some attitude.
Yeah.
We just get a tight
cool.
shot of that.
I know.
Richard Green, thank you so much for joining us. It was
Yeah,
very nice to
thank
meet you.
you.
We wish you the best on the rest of your days
Hey,
here
good luck,
at the
Big Dog.
Thanks
Kaulig
for having
Companies
us.
Championship. Well done today, and continue the best along till Sunday.
Thanks. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more Hanford Dixon Show right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We have got Nick Padone with us. Hanford.
Yeah, Nick, I get, I said it before you got here. I wanted to give you a lot of credit for getting us, Gab and I, out here to do this show because we can't stop smiling. I mean, we just can't stop smiling. Watching John Daly is here.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how goofy I am about the professional golfers?
Yeah, for sure.
You were pretty goofy, period.
Top Dog, when they told us that this was a possibility that we could broadcast from here this week, you were my first phone call, man. I knew you would be all about this, and here you are.
Thank you, Big Dog. And you need to know, guys like VJ Singh is here. I mean, Steve Stricker, obviously, we know is. I mean, he's been the winner. He's winning somewhere. He's won it twice, I know, the last 4 years. So, but yeah, Nick, again, thank you.
For sure.
We want to talk a little football while we're here. I know it's off-brand for what we're doing on the golf course,
I
but it's
thought
on-brand
you would
for
never ask.
We're getting excited. Training camp coming up, and we definitely want to pick Nick's brain because he's so well read on this, and of course you, Top Dog. But some of the things you're looking forward to at training camp and things you think need to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Top Dog, I think the number one thing that we've got to solve here, man, we got to get Amari Cooper pen to paper. I know he did the holdout for OTAs. He didn't show up, and those are voluntary, and then the mandatory ones he skipped out on as well. So, Top Dog, I want to know from you, what do they got to do to get him back in there? Because everything we hear is they want to throw the football. They want to be a passing offense this year. I mean, you need somebody to catch the ball, right?
We really do, and I'll have to tell you guys this. I thought it actually shocked me when I found out what was going on with him in the organization because I'm sure you guys know this. I mean, Coop is he's scheduled to make about $20 million this year, somewhere around there. $20 million he's scheduled to make. And but then again, he's looking at the contracts. I think Jefferson, is that his name? The guy that these guys right now, the wide receivers are getting huge contracts, pretty much like the quarterbacks are getting right now. And me personally, I think if they were, it's a different age now, but still $20 million. If they were paying me $20 million, ain't no way in hell I'm going to hold out of training camp. I'll be right there. I'll be there trying to negotiate.
Yeah.
But still, I'm not going to hold out of training camp. And I think Cooper needs to just come on into camp because you know how I am. I like Coop. He's an old, Crimson Tide Alabama guy, and we just got in Jared Judy, who is also an Alabama guy who's going to be one of the wide receivers. And you hit it right on the head, Nick, because we need all those guys in there to get Deshaun Watson going. And Cooper. Cooper could still run. Obviously, he could still run routes. Whenever the ball is in the vicinity where he is, he's going to make that catch 9 times out of 10. But I don't think he's ever going to run away from anyone. And that's not nothing bad on him an indictment on him right now because he's still a top-notch receiver. And he proved that last year, and he proved it each and every year he goes out there. But I don't know if we can pay. There's only so much money to go around. It's just so much to go around, and obviously Deshaun has taken up a lot of it. But there's, and then we just gave Jared Judy a new.
And I think a piece of maybe Cooper's frustration is, hey, I was here first. Where's my money? And Hanford, I have talked to an NFL agent. It's not Amari Cooper's agent, but he does represent some wide receivers around the league. And he told me, hey, I would never let a top-notch player like an Amari Cooper enter his final year of a contract without some insurance, without some guarantees moving on past that year. And he was saying if it was one of his clients in Cooper's situation, he would totally be advocating for the player to hold out. Yeah. I think it's just this new era of guys that want to make sure that they have security moving forward.
I wondered how that was, if it was just a strategy, because to your point, Hanford, I was like, well, can he still play and negotiate? Or maybe it sends more of a message to be holding out and being serious.
But see, here's a problem, too, in the way I look at it. Here's a problem. Again, Cooper's getting up there in age. And I understand a little bit where he's coming from because he figures he's got one more round to get a piece of that big pie, and this is his shot right now.
Yep.
And then you got to understand where the team is coming from too. They're saying, "Hey, man, we're paying you $20 million a year, $20 million this year, and you're getting up there in age, and you're one hit away from not being able to do it, and then we're stuck with that contract." So I understand both sides, the owner's side, and then Cooper's and his people's side, but. I don't know. I just think there's only, again, so much money left and so much money to go around. So, but I wanted to talk to you about something. Myles Garrett. Now, if that was Myles Garrett, he wants some money, I say give him the money.
Yeah.
You know what you say? How much do you need, Myles?
So how about this, Top Dog? Every year they poll coaches, executives from around the league, and they want to know who are the top guys at each position group. This year when they polled NFL executives from around the league, it was unanimous. Myles Garrett, the number one defensive end in football.
Not TJ Watt?
That's deserved, right? And there are a lot of people in Pittsburgh now pretty upset that it wasn't TJ Watt.
I think that's a lot of credibility coming from the execs, and I'm finally happy to hush up some of those Pittsburgh people on X.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the poll that really counts, I think. The NFL executives and I'm sure coaches were in on that thing also. But Myles Garrett, guys, let me tell you guys something. I only wished and hoped that when I was playing cornerback, I had a guy like Myles Garrett on that defensive line. Because, believe it or not, that's where the whole dog thing came from. That's where the whole dog pound came from because we just didn't have that dominant pass rusher. And me being down south, how the old dog used to chase the cat, told him, hey, you guys are the dogs, think of that quarterback like the cat, and go get him when we start barking. We never had that dominant pass rusher like a Myles Garrett because you just don't understand what you're able to do as a cornerback or as a defensive back when you have a guy like Myles Garrett because you know the quarterback is going to only have a certain amount of time to get rid of that football, and he's got to do something else. And you could take a lot of chances, and it's just phenomenal. Give him his money. If he wanted some more money, I say give him his money. Don't even hesitate with that one.
Hanford, talk a little bit about what that means, to have a Myles Garrett, because obviously this Browns secondary is very talented. You've got really the big three in Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, Greg Newsome. They're running that secondary back. Your backfield was just as talented. What's that mean for them that they have a guy like Myles Garrett and the guys back could be a little bit more loose, right?
Yeah, and actually we have another one cornerback. I think we have 4 good cornerbacks. We got the kid we just also drafted out of Northwestern, Cameron.
Yeah.
So you look at that secondary, we have really 4 good corners. I think PFF ranked the defensive backfield, and I think Cleveland, they ranked us 5. I think they had Jets first, San Francisco Bills, Ravens, Dolphins. Oh, I take that back. Dolphins and then the Browns. But those guys, I'm telling you, you're going to see now a lot more bump and run. And with Zadarius, obviously, he's going to be back.
Yeah.
He's going to play a lot better. And that whole defensive line is solid because you guys have heard me say it time and time again. That's why I think the game of football is controlled, and that's where it all starts, on the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. And when you got those guys controlling the line of scrimmage and getting after the quarterback, everybody else in that backfield can kind of do what they want to do. But I just wish, and this is what I want to see, I just wish we'll see a lot more bump and run. What I mean about a lot more bump and run, you see them up, you see them playing bump and run, but if you watch them, I want you guys to look at this a little bit this year. If you watch them, Gab, what they'll do is they'll turn and run instead of trying to jam the wide receivers because they don't know. That's one thing Minifield and I, we realized and we understood that really, really good. When you control the line of scrimmage right there, the quarterback, when he look over there and that wide receiver's tied up, hey, I got to go somewhere else with that football, and that's why I want to see him bump. But this secondary is going to be playing a lot better only because that defensive line is playing better.
All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show.
Some people say I'm no
My first
good.
time ever hearing this.
Yeah.
I'm crazy as can be. I get drunk in the morning, I get stoned in the afternoon, but I ain't asking nobody for nothing if I can't get it on my own. If you don't like the way I'm living, leave this short-haired country boy alone. Can you guys tell how happy I am to be right here at the Golf Center, Firestone? Got my shirt on too, Gab.
Yes, you
mentioned
do.
it, got my shirt on.
Looking
so.
spiffy here at the Kaulig Companies Championship.
Look, I'm sitting there singing that song, Nick, and Gab is like, "Can we talk football, please?"
No,
I'm
listen.
honored I got to hear the song. My first time on the
Nick
show,
needed
and
to
I
hear
got
that
to hear
live
the song.
rendition.
I feel officially part of the show now.
Okay.
For
Thank
the
you.
record, it never gets old,
It never does.
and we needed to eat some time anyway.
Yeah.
And, Nick got a nice live listen
Yeah,
to that.
yeah, that was
well
awesome.
Done.
Hey, so we were talking about during the break, this AFC North is going to be the best division in football. I mean, Hanford, when you look at these 4 teams, 3 of these teams were playoff teams last year, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, who upgraded their quarterback position. You got Joe Burrow getting back to full strength for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be a tight tight division, man.
You know what it really is, and you talked about it. You said 3 of them made the playoffs last year, and it would not surprise me if all 4 teams, guys, made the playoff this year. I think it all starts, though, in Baltimore. I think that's where everything starts because, talking with Ozzie, and, I kind of get these secrets out of him when we were playing golf. He'll tell me, he said, Dick, Lamar, man, I'm telling you, Lamar is just looking good. He's lost some weight. He's got a couple muscles on. And I'm saying to myself, I said, I already know how good this guy is. We don't want him to lose it. We don't want him to get any better than what he really is. I mean, God, and he's throwing the ball absolutely. And their team has improved. But again, it all starts in Baltimore with the Baltimore Ravens. I think that's who everybody have to come and beat. Then, obviously, guys, you got I think the Bengals. I think the Bengals is going to be next because they're getting their quarterback back, Joe Burrow, who is just a phenomenal quarterback. Nick, have you heard some of the things coming out of Cincinnati, Joe Burrow? I don't know why he thinks everyone has forgotten about him or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
Did you guys hear anything?
Yeah, he came out and he said, when you're not playing, people forget about you. And he wants to give people a lot to talk about.
I'm saying to myself, Joe, what are you talking about? I mean, we all love you. We all know how good you are, and no one praises him more than I do because
maybe he got a complex taking some time out. I guess.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
He thinks that nobody's talking about it. That's actually the best place to be. You want to pull a Nick Chubb, just be do your work, put your nose in the ground, and just let your play just speak volumes. It was kind of a weird thing to say, in my opinion. I was like, bro, why are you talking so much right now about how you need to be talked about? That's, I don't know, maybe I took it out of context. I'm like, calm down.
It'll be
Forgive me talking about
interesting
you.
to see, though, because he's coming back from a unique injury. Not
Yeah.
many quarterbacks have had that weird hand
Right.
injury, and he's been, partying at the all-white party with Fanatics and Michael Rubin. He's doing a lot of podcasts,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
Wow,
then
he's
our
really worried about his relevance.
And our quarterback's working back from a unique shoulder injury, and he's been traveling the world. So both of these guys kind of going about their rehab and their recovery in two different paths, two different avenues. And Hanford, you mentioned the AFC North running through Baltimore. I got to tell you, man, the last time we got a look at Deshaun Watson, it was against those Baltimore Ravens, and he looked pretty good. So if he could return to that form, that version of Deshaun Watson, I like the Browns' chances in this AFC North.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are, there's a lot of talent on our team. I mean, I say ours, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent on our football team, and you're right. It all starts with our $50 million quarterback, Deshaun. I mean, if we can get him, like you said, back to playing the old Deshaun when he was in Houston, if we can get him playing like that, I mean, I think the sky is the limit. And you look at it, he's got a lot of weapons. Guys, the key, obviously, I like a lot of the running backs, but Nick Chubb is the guy. He is the one guy that worries me a little bit. And if anyone can come back from the injury he's had, is that type of injury, it's got to be Nick Chubb. I mean, because that's that knee. I think he's had 2 surgeries on that same knee. And that kind of worries me a little bit, but I think he's going to be fine. Offensive line is still one of the best offensive lines in the league. The only thing that make me mad about the Cleveland Browns is our defense. We have to learn how to play on the road. We have to learn how to travel. I mean, guys, Gab, I couldn't believe that we went and let a rookie quarterback beat us in the playoffs. A rookie quarterback. I thought we was just going to dominate this guy, make him do turnovers, make him have all kind of mistakes, but that just didn't happen. But I'm going to tell you the sleeper in the division is those Pittsburgh Steelers. We can say what we want to say about them. Listen to what I'm telling you now. Those Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin took that team to the playoffs without a quarterback, guys. Without a quarterback. And this year, he's got 2. He's got 2 quarterbacks. And I'm telling you, both of those quarterbacks that he has, they are hungry right now. So that's going to be interesting. You said that they named Myles Garrett as the number 1 guy. I guarantee you, right behind him, T.J. Watts. And then they got Highsmith on the other side. Those guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's fine, but you hit it right on the head. The whole AFC North is going to be a very, very, very good division. And again, it wouldn't surprise me as each and every team in that division made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd look for all of these teams to beat each other up. You're playing these teams twice a year, and the significance of those games really count as double.
Well, and the key is, obviously the key is we just got to stay healthy. We just have to stay healthy.
Top Dog, real quick, when do you think we could get a look at Nick Chubb back in a Browns uniform? Because I know his people are saying they're optimistic. They want to say, week 1 or early on in the season. What do you think about that? And then I know we got to go to break.
I think it's going to be. I think
week
it's going to be. I think it's going to be week 1. Because I really do. Because training camp, guys, what training camp is right around the corner? Well, it's less than 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Less than 30 days before everyone have to report. And I guarantee you this. I can tell you this from experience. Every single person, every single guy is itching to get back. Yeah. They can't wait. They've had enough time off. They've had enough of the Bahamas, enough of all the beaches, enough of laying around. They want to get back. They want to get back to work, and they are ready to play.
All right, we're going to take another break. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside the Top Dog.
Gab. Can I throw a curve in this one?
And we got Nick Padone with us.
Can I throw a curve in this one?
Yeah, you always do.
I'm a big Guardians fan. That's all I'm going to say.
Listen, this is your show, Top Dog, and we can go whatever direction you want. And let's see here. The Guardians at this time of filming, we are still tied for the lead in the American League with the Orioles. I will say we're coming off a weird game, at least at the time of filming this, with Detroit. Austin Hedges was out there pitching.
5 All-Stars, though, top dog. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Why would you guys bring that up?
I don't know. We don't need to bring it up, but it was awesome that he went 3 up, 3 down, and I think that's hilarious and amazing. And the marketing for the Guardians has gone swimmingly. I don't know if you've Top Dog. I know you're getting familiar with Instagram.
Yes.
And did you see some of the looks that they had as they were trying to get people voted into the All-Star game?
It was like a Western theme
like a
for
Western
the All-Star.
theme.
Yeah.
Austin Hedges had these, I'll say buttless chaps, so that we don't have to bleep it out, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like for real. And they like blurred his bum. And he's just that kind of outrageous personality. So that's why I had to give him a little credit, even though guards had a hard time today. The fact
5
that he was
All-Stars, top dog.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's major. That is absolutely major. That is good. But
Who's your favorite player, by the way?
God, I know you were going to ask me that. I kind of like Jose. Obviously, I like him, and you have to like the 2 brothers.
Yes, Bo and Josh
Bo
Naylor.
and Josh, yeah, first baseman and the catcher, and but that damn Hedges, I'm glad he could. I'm glad he could talk a lot because, God damn it, I want him to do something, on the field sometime. Get a hit or something. But that's all right. That's all right. I still like him.
Yeah. He's good for the vibes.
He's a locker
He's
room
a
glue.
personality
Yes.
hire.
I still want him. Still want him up here. I don't want him to sit him down because we actually really need him. I think Fry can catch too, can he?
Yeah, Fry's doing it all, man. A little bit of right field, a little bit of catching. He hasn't pitched yet, thankfully. That's because we haven't been in too many blowouts now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, David Fry could do a little bit of it all. And it was really nice, I thought, Hanford, to see him get that recognition as a designated hitter in the All-Star game because he has put in so much work at so many different positions on the baseball field. To give him that all-star recognition and that nod, I thought was really cool to see. Especially not a reserve, none of that nonsense, a straight-up all-star is awesome to see because we saw last year Josh Naylor deserved to be in there and he got snubbed. So it was cool to see the entire 5 slate of all-stars all get in there.
I like that shift for Major League Baseball and even just the fans because, to your point, Nick, the fact that Josh Naylor, who is a name that people were getting really familiar with last year because of his theatrics or his outgoing personality, like how do you not, it's not like people didn't know his name. So now the fact that David Fry, this is really someone who just came out of the woodwork, nobody knew his name, and the fact that he got in and it was so deserving is just satisfying.
Guys,
and Jose Ramirez, did you know this? He's going to be in the Home Run Derby.
I know it. I saw that. That's gonna be pretty cool too to watch him in that. But you know what really makes me mad watching the Guardians game? I mean, for instance, like some of those games I thought we could have won. Like when we really need a run, like we have a guy that's on first base or second base starting a rally, and some of those guys are up in the count, like 2-0 or 3-0, and they swing at the damn ball and pop the ball up. I'm like, what are you doing? I even get mad at Jose when Jose did it the other night. I got mad at him. I don't care how good you are. When you need runs, you need guys on base, you got to do whatever you can to get on base and then as Rick Manning says, keep the line moving. Yeah. And that's what we've been failing to do. But am I worried about the guys? No. I'm not worried about them. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to win the division. And I'm pretty sure they're going to get to the playoffs. But I am so excited about this team. And I got to tell you guys this. I want all you guys to listen to this. And I probably told you, but I'm going to tell you again. Gab works the game. Yep. I went to the game. Yep. And I said, Gab, where are you? She told me, she was right there by me and didn't want to come over and say hi to me.
No, that's silly. He's a liar. First of all, I'm going to say that he embellishes on this show often, and we already know that. I moseyed my way up there on a toasty, busy day.
Well, I didn't say you didn't come.
And I took a picture with you.
I said you didn't want to come.
No, you're being silly. Where does he come up with this? He just has a vendetta.
Hey, Top Dog, it's going to be a fun fall. If the Browns start the way that we think they can start this season, and the Guardians, if they finish this thing strong and win this American League Central and have a playoff spot, you could have all 3 teams in Cleveland going on at the same time, and that would be a lot of fun this fall.
You better be careful what you say on air. I won't get you no playoff tickets.
I know it.
Yeah, look at that.
But I agree with you. I think it is going to be a good time, but I'm a huge Guardians fan. I mean, I'm just a baseball nut. I love those guys. I love to watch them play.
You
And I
ever play baseball?
And
Growing up?
He was too afraid of the ball.
Are you kidding me?
It's a
Hey,
sore
that's
subject.
Listen to this.
that's how I was too.
Listen to me. You couldn't guarantee me in that batter's box that ball is going to curve. I'm thinking that ball is going to hit me all the time, so I'm always running out of there. But where I was headed with this, I love the Guardians. I also like the Cavs, too. I'm a big Cavs fan. I'm a big Cleveland sports guy, but I really love the Guardians. But obviously my first love is those Cleveland Browns and that dog pound dog, and everything is getting ready to kick off really, really soon. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this football team with Stefanski. Pretty much got his staff intact, so let's get this thing going.
Now, when you read your news and you're getting excited about the season and training camp and all that, do you get like a little excited, like your elliptical sessions you go a little harder, you bump up the intensity a little bit, like you're getting ready for
Just in case one of those guys goes down. You never know. That 2-9 is still available.
Big dog, 5 plays. I have 5 plays in me, and those 5 plays, just make sure you got the safety over top of it so he can protect me if anyone goes deep. But no, that elliptical is set at the, I pyramid up a little bit, then I'll come back down toward the end. But no, that does not get me excited. I'm just trying to finish and get off of that thing as fast as I can.
I feel
Hanford, I appreciate you having me on my debut on the Hanford Dixon Show. I've known you for how long? This is my first time ever coming on, so
thanks
thank you for having
on.
me. Yeah.
Dog, I've been trying to get you on, but my partner, she's been against it. So I don't know what she got against you. Dick,
We do a show already. People
maybe-
already
I'm
see
sick of
enough
him.
of
I'm
us.
sick of him.
Yeah.
He's already all up in my grill.
Maybe that's what it is. She get enough of you on that show. I said, let's bring Nick up. No, we don't need to bring Nick
I'm
on,
kidding. I'm kidding. Nick is
Hey,
phenomenal.
thank you, Nick.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
We got to take our final break of the show. Big thanks to Nick and
Thank
the
you,
Top
guys.
Dog coming out. We drove out here to Akron on the beautiful Kaulig Companies Championship, and we got a great day for it too. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We are here at the Kaulig Companies Championship, and Hanford has muscled through a sweaty afternoon. He wouldn't let me know, or wouldn't let me not know every break. I can't say exactly what you said on TV here, but always keeps me chuckling. And did you bring your baby powder?
Well,
Just keep everything a little dry.
No baby powder for me, but I can tell you what, I like we said, I'd much rather have this heat instead of snow. I'll take this any day. But you know what? Since it's the end of the show, I wanted to bring you talk about something that's really been on my mind this week, and something that really, really touched my heart, and my heart goes out to this family. Did you hear about the officer in the 3rd District? Officer Ritter. Did you hear about that whole thing?
We had his whole family at the ballpark. We did a moment of silence pregame a few games ago. And, this is the second young officer to go out in the line of duty here in Cleveland. And you feel awful for their families and just how young they are and the life that they had ahead of them. And we take for granted sometimes the service that they're really laying down for our communities.
I mean, that thing, Gab, I looked at it, and I saw him, and I saw his family, and I even watched the whole ceremony that they had. It was, you had some stations that was carrying it live. And again, that thing really, really touched me, and that's why our police officers, we have to support them, and I pray for them pretty much every day, all of our officers, because their job is to protect us, and they go out every day and they put their lives on the line, and they're always afraid, and I'm afraid that something like this could happen. But again, I'll say this, and this will be my last thing about it. My heart really goes out to that family, and I was really, really, really sad about it.
I'm glad you bring that up because I feel like a lot of people watching, they appreciate our appreciation for what they do in the community and to protect and to serve. And to your point, we are sending tons of prayers out to his family.
And love to you guys.
Yeah.
And kudos to you guys for having that whole family out at the game. That was...
it's really, we did that with both families, and we had them out, and it's a moment of silence, and it can be probably tough to do after tragedy, but I think that when we come together as a community and we really rally and support people, it means a lot.
Yeah, good job, Gab. What about the show? We've been having let's pick it up a little bit toward the end.
Yeah,
we almost
listen,
done.
you made it. I wasn't sure we would have enough content here. My man's, I'd be calling him. I'd be like, you got a guest for us?
Gab, are you so happy that the season's getting ready? Training camp is getting ready to start.
Yes.
I know we
yes.
talked about it, but I'm just so happy that it's getting ready to start. I mean, football.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner. And then when it start first, then you got the college games that are getting ready to start. But you know the only sad part about that?
What's that?
Summer's almost over.
No, don't say that. Don't la la la.
When football starts, when the season starts, especially college and the National Football League, you know summer's coming to an end. So that's a sad thing about it.
I'm doing a little contracted work with the Browns again this year,
Awesome.
and I'm excited. Once they start airing the episodes and stuff, I'll be able to talk to you a little bit more about some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. But I'm interested to pick your brain because I'm certain things have really changed, especially from the recovery process and all this for players. You know, and from your time to now, you'll be shocked at what we're going to talk about.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well, thanks everybody for watching another Hanford